Hey guys, can you hear me? All right, guys. We are gonna start in a minute. Okay, guys. I guess we have everybody ready, and so we are gonna do the same thing. So first, you need to pull up to repair it in Python, and I will do the same thing and copy the URL and put it into the YouTube chat box, so you are able to get to the link. But I really suggest you to just do the bookmark. If you have Chrome, you can do click on the button to bookmark it, and then you can have a bookmark like me and put it here. So every time I just click on this bookmark, and I can go get to this website. And the second website is W3 Schools, in which we follow the tutorial to learn the Python. And I suggest you to go through the tutorial if you have interested in learning by yourself. You should go through the Python tutorials. And I know some of you guys like JavaScript, and you can do JavaScript or SQL or even Bootstrap, HTML, CSS, and all these programming language. You can do it by yourself through this w3schools.com. And in case you have any question, just send me an email. I'm always at the email called help@dataarea.ca. All right. Jet Li, the video restricted for you probably because our video doesn't just to the kids, so you have better to use a private window like this kind of new incognito window in Chrome or in Microsoft Edge or Firefox. You probably need a private window to open the link we sent to you. Or the other way is you probably use your dad or mom's account, and you can go to our YouTube channel and subscribe the channel, and then you can get to our YouTube channel. Okay. Yeah, you won't be able to use your school account because school account restricted to the adult channel, I guess. And let's just go back to what we have last week, and we learned about variables, of course, because variable just like a just like a pocket or a box. You can put whatever you want in Python. Like you can put a number, or you can put a string, and you can even put somehow later we learn class, and you can put an object into a variable, or we are going to learn list, and you put a list, something like this, a list into a variable, or you can put a dictionary, just like the dictionary you use in school, like English dictionary, or you can put even a functions. You can even put a function to a variable. You can even put a function to a variable. All right. So yeah, pretty much variable is just like a pocket or a box. You put things inside, and then you can do with that box, and it will show that value in the inside the box. So last week we learned a little bit about the numbers, and we use the variable to hold an integer. And what is integer? You may mean integer basically is like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or -1, -2, something like that. They don't have a decimal. Okay. So if they have a dot there, which means is a decimal, and in Python we call float. We use float to we call float. The number is float. So 1 is integer, and 1.5 is float. And of course we can change from a float integer to a float, or float to the integer. And also we can change a number into a string, so which we also learn a little bit in a string. So what a string do is just like something like a word, or a letter, or a sentence, and whatever you want, even is a number like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and as long as you code it, you put the single quote or a double quote, and you make it the whole string. You code it, and it will become a string. And usually in the website, in this website, like here, you make a string. Like for example, I have a string. Oopsie. I have a string, and something inside the string should turn into color red, the red color. Yeah, but that is only for this IDE. Some of them might turn into different color, but here it's just like if it is a string, and it will turn into red. If you forgot to put the string, the single quote or double quote, and it doesn't string, it will become a variable, because you have to wrap them with either single quote or double quote, like wrap them like this, and they will turn into a string. Okay. And we also learn do the casting. What is casting do? It just like you turn a string into integer or a number. Like what I'm gonna show you is like I'm going to do like for example, I have 999. It's just a number, so I can do it with a string. So what is string do? Like this, I use this function called str. It will convert 999 into a string. So if I have to show in the breadbox, I need to use another function called print, and it will output to the breadbox on our right hand side. So I click, and it shows 999. It's just a string, and it doesn't show you the code in, or the double code in the breadbox. but it is okay. We usually call the black box is the console or command line or the output window. Yeah. And yeah, with the string, you can usually can join the string together like 120 in, or maybe I make it easier, just press 1. And you would think 999 plus 1, it should be 1000. But since I convert them to string, and when I click run, it just became 999 1 because they are just sentence, like they are the word. 999 is a word, a letter. So that's why you join them together. It's not a mathematics plus. It's just like 999 join 1 together. So that's why they put it 1 behind 999. On the contrary, and so you can do like if it is a string, like this string. If 999 is a string, and now you have a 1, and you will do the same thing like print. Of course, you want to output it, and you want to output, you type print, and you will print here, and they will have the same number, 999. And this time, if you want to turn the string into integer, like here, and you do integer here. Okay, so if you like, sometimes I just miss one parenthesis, the close parenthesis. Here you can realize that if you turn a little bit red color here, right, it means you make some syntax mistakes. So you have to figure out, are you missing something? Like you might missing one parenthesis, or you might missing one single quote or double quotes, right? So, and this time when I do print, and since I already turned the 999 into an integer and 1 into an integer, and this time when you plus them, and it really do 999 plus 1 is equal to 1000. And that's why when I click run, and it show the first one is 999 1, and the next one is 1000. Okay, so yeah, I give you a little bit time. You can do these two conversion, and I probably give you 3 minutes, and you 3 minutes or 2 minutes, you just type fast, and you can do some experiment and how to convert them to into each other. All right, so yeah, you can do it right now. And again, once you're done, please leave a message in the chat box so I know you are done, and then we can move forward. All right, I think most of you guys almost done because it just pretty easy programming. You just do the conversion, so you can call it casting in Python. It's called casting, and of course you can look at this tutorial. It's saying you can convert them with each other, but you can convert like something like this. You can do like if you try to convert ABCD into an integer, it will causing some problem because ABCD is never be an integer, right? So that's why it will saying, hey, it's something wrong because ABCD is not a number. So just keep an eye on the whatever string you have and don't put the string like something cannot turn into the integer. Like even like here like this, if you have a 999 and it also have some problem, then in this case you can use float instead of integer, and you can turn 99.2 into 99.2. So yeah, you have three options. One is called int, is turn something into the integer. The other one is float, you turn something into the float, and you can turn whatever you want into a string. So use str. And we also have a homework last week, and I saw David send me and David and Luke also sent me the homework. They both doing really good. So what I copied here is what David kept in here. Okay, so we put it here, and what he did is like first you would put a grade. So they would say, which grade are you in? So probably I put a question mark here, and you would say, hey, I'm in kindergarten, so I put K, and if K, you have to go to the room 100. If something is greater than 12, because you may go to the university, but my school doesn't have the college, so they're saying this school is for K to 12. And also if you have you are in from K to 12, and it would say, hey, it is please go to room 100, and for example is you are in grade 6, is 106. So I'm gonna run his program and see it's working or not. So it's saying, which grade are you in? I'm in grade 6, and that's why I got 106. I will try it again, and it's saying, and I'm in grade 8, and now I'm in the room, please go to room 108. It's working very well. And because we already learned this one, we use the double equal to compare this variable with this value. Okay, and this variable is the input from you type the input like and convert it to the integer, and that's why you have that's why we have a K here. My property causing some problem, so let's just do this, and I will have do run, and I will put the K, and it will causing some problem. Why? Because the K is you can't convert the K to the integer, right? You can't convert the K into integer. That's why we have to do something like later. What is called later is just like, hey, I'm going to do first, I'm going to do just compare the K first with the K against the K first, and you said, oh, if I'm a K, and then I will print go to the room 100, and now there's no problem with that. Oopsie, it's saying please go to 100, and it just continue and going to see the problem here is like if you are come over here at the line 1, you got the value from your input is the value is k, and now you go to the line 3 and you compare them if g is equal to k or not, and obviously it will be equal because you put a k, and that's how you print the loom, go to loom 100. That's great, but Python is continue to do the process, and they will, after they finish here, they continue with line 5 and go to line 6. In the line 6, they will see, hey, what about the g is greater than 12 or not? But g is still the k, right? It's still the k, is still the number. So you don't want to do this. You don't want to do this. And you want to say if g is equal to k, and then you print, you go to room 100, else, in line 5, you will do else, and you move all this line to space, and 2 space, each line give 2 space, and make them inside the else here. So you see that you have the one level, and you have if g is equal to k, and then you go print here, print, go to room 100, and they will execute this code block if g is equal to k, and then they will do line 4. Otherwise, and you use something called else. By the end of else, don't forget you need a column, and which means they are going to be a code block, and from all the way to 6 to 10, they are another block, but is inside the else, okay, inside the else. And also, if inside this block you continue to do the variation, you say if g is greater than 12, and you are going to print this school is k to 12 only, okay, is k to 12 only, and we don't have the any room greater than 12. So but before we do the comparison, use this greater than, you use this called greater than, and you have to convert the g to the integer, so that now you have the g, turn the grade from string to an integer, and now you have integer grade, because if it is equal to k, and now you have the g. Now if the grade is greater than 12, now you should print the school is k to 12 only. Otherwise you should go to, I have to remove the 10 because we already converted to the integer, and you go to the loom 100 plus the g, and turn it into the string. And now the program should work very well. And I just click run, and now I have the k, and this time it's just saying if you are in kindergarten, you have to go to room 100, and I run it again if you are in grade 3, and now you should go to room 103. And also, if you run something, like, of course there's one bug, and like if you put s, and what will happen, like s, if you put s, it will have something wrong. But let's try 13. If you put 13, and our program is still working. It's saying this school is from K to 12 only, and now it just go into here and saying this school is K to 12 only. So that's why we come over here. All right. So yeah. As you see, you should always remember that there's a block inside. If you want a block, and you're probably aware that there's something end with the column, which means the coming line, the lines it is 2 space ahead. It became a code block. It's one block, like this one. It's one block, and in the else, and that is calling if and else. And inside the else, you can also do another if else. All right, and that is the way to do this comparison. And of course, you will say, hey, if G is not K and it is also not the number, what will happen? What will happen if the, like, for example, if G is equal, I put this one for you. Like if you put -1, and what will happen? And that would be there, right? If it's -1, and it will go, G is going to -1. There's no grade. It's called -1, and you can't go to the room 99 because there's no room 99 in your school. So in that case, you should say if G greater than 12 and G is less, or no, not and, is or if the G is greater than 12 and G is less than and equal to 0, and you should say this school is K to 12 only, and otherwise you will go here. You got what I'm saying? And now if I run it again and I will put -1, and this time it will say this school is K to 12 only, and it would then be negative, it will support the -1 or 0. So what I want you to do, you just finish this code as quick as you can. We are going to move forward to something else instead of this case. But of course, if you have time, and like David, you just send me the answer, and you can try to fix the problem. If, like, for example, I show you, if I put an S, what will happen? Like, oopsie, there's still some problem. If you put like A, B, C, D, like A, and it will be where, it's something where, right? Yeah, if you have time, you can help me to fix this problem when after the class. But we will cover this, how to fix this error with the something called try and catch, like using try and catch. Let me see if I can pull it out. Try and catch exception. Yeah, here it's called try except finally. So you can use try and except to do that job. But for the rest of you just have to finish this code, and that's good enough. And like if you still have time, you can see how to fix the problem. Like if you have an A or B, you put A, B, C, D or something, and how to fix that problem as well. So now I want you to finish this homework. I think most of you guys didn't finish this homework, and I want you to finish it right now. And for some of you guys already finished this, and I want you to fix this problem. And if you have finished this case, please let me know and put a message into the chat box so we can move forward. Alright guys, most of you guys might just maybe have some problem because you there are some of mistake you will make because sometimes I just like if I have a code I missed one code by the end of that. The other problem is if I have a parenthesis I miss one parenthesis, and sometimes I just miss some space in front of here. I might have some space, like you have to have put two space in front of this code block to make it as a block. Okay, as a block, like here in else, and in the inside this code blocks, and which you have to put another two space and make it inside this code block. And here again it's just another two space. And once you remember, don't forget these things, like the parentheses, like this kind of parentheses. They have two here, and also might be have one column here, and you have these 10 lines. Your program should work well, very good. Okay, yeah, we should continue for the next one, and I'm gonna remove this page. And if you want to continue to work on this case, and you can use some tool, like in Windows you should have a sniff tool, and you can just like for example I show you, like here, like take a picture of that. I take a picture of this. Okay, take a picture of your screen, and later you can continue to work on this problem. And now we have to move forward, and let's do another one. It's called we have the if else today. And now let's go back to the tutorial, and there's a strings here. So we already learned the string, and like you want to have a string, you have to have the single quote or double quote. And there's some string, sometimes you need to cut the string into different like substring. We call substring, and here is called slicing. What's called slicing mean? I'm gonna just show you in the program. Like for example, I remove this part, I remove everything here, and now it's clean. And if I am going to have a string, I just use single quote. You can use double quote as well. So like for example, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And if you want to just cut out like like just BC, like BC, I'm from BC. How am I going to do that? And for this string, you just like first let's just print it out. I'll put it to the breadbox. You use the print, and you have A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But I just want B and C. So how am I going to get B and C? And you are going to use something like this, like this guy, okay, like this guy. But let's do this first, and I'm going to just finish my code, and I'm doing 0, 1, and 1, 2, 2, or 3. Let's just 1 to 3 and see what happened. And I got BC. So I'm going to explain to you what happened here. And I used a little bit magic here because I have a string like this, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Now I want to have a substring of this guy, of A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And I want to have from this B and C. So how am I going to get this slice? We call like a cake, you cut a slice. Or we can call it substring. It just this one is a string, and we have a substring, a small string, okay? Or you can call it a slice. It's up to you. But if you want to cut this one out from this string, and you use something like this, behind behind the string and you put two number in a column here, but with this kind of square bracket. Okay, it's a square bracket, and then you wrap it with two number. So the first number, we call the first number is like a position, and the second number is also a position. But in a string, in Python, we count the string like this way. Like I'm gonna show you the position, how we count it. We're not counting from 1, we count it from 0, like from A, B, C, D here, and the first one from here. You see my my cursor here, this cursor, and it's from 0. This one is 0, and now this one is 1. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So let's do it again. Here is 0, and here is 1. So I want it to 1, 2, right? From 1, this one is 1, and this one is 2, and now this one is 3. So you have 1, 2, 3. Okay. I'm gonna open my Word and I am gonna show you what exactly how to count it. So let's open the Word document, the Word document. And that's very important when you learn how to do the programming. You need to have to count it, right? So for example, I have A, B, C, D, E, F, like this. So we set the position, like the first one is 0. So basically the 0 should be here, from this, and now here is 1. So basically here is 1, and between it is 1. So 0, 1. Now here is 2, and here is 3. Here is 4. Now here is 5. So here is 5. So which means if you want to count the position from to cut out the BC, it should be from 1 to 3. So between 1 to 3. And now you can get B and C. Okay. But at the beginning it might be weird, because once you want to count it and the position, and you feel it's weird, but because it starts from 0, and we call this number, we call it index. Okay. Oopsie. Index. And now let's go back to our program. You have A, B, C, D here. I'm gonna change a little bit. The sentence is called "You are a good student." Okay, but this time I don't want to be let me run this first. It just have the OU from 1 to 3. So what I want you to do, you get the good. I want you to cut out the good from this sentence. Print "You are the student." So obviously what you need to do, you need to change these two number, right? These two number. And you should count from 0 here. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And here is 10. Okay? Here is 10. And now what's this number do? This number. So I want you also to count out this number. And if you got this number, and please put it into the chat box so I can fill up this number and I can get the word good. Okay? Without any space. If you know the number, please put it into the chat box. And now right, I want to show good in here. And now I want you to continue to count, and here is 10, and I want to cut out just good. And if you know the number, please let me know. And the sentence is, you are a good student. And if you know the number, please let me know and put it into the chat box, and I can put it here. Now I can run it and see it work or not. I want to just print out the good. Okay, you shouldn't. You should figure out the number here. So Tom said it's 14. So yeah. Please tell me the number of this number and see which one is the one I want. I want just to show the good. If you get the number, please let me know. Please. All right, so yeah, when you do the run the program, you run it, and it will say good student because if you are missing something here, by default it will go all the way to the end. So in order to cut the good out from this sentence, so since from here is 10 and you continue to count 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, so it's from 10 to 14. If I put 14 here and put 14 here and you run it, you would have just good. Like what we learned before, we can put this sentence into a variable. You can cut and paste, cut and put a variable here. Before here, you have a equal to this sentence. We call it a string. So you just put the a here. The a is a variable. It has this sentence. So once I click run, and you still got the good in here. All right. So you learn the trick, right? So you learn how to do the count the sentence, and now you can do to get the part you want, like the good, or of course you can cut the student, or you can cut you, something like this. And there are 4 minutes left, so I'm going to show you how to your homework. So today's homework is like you put a phone number. Like for example, my phone number is 780 221 1234, something like this. Okay, so I want you to put the phone number, and my phone number, this phone number, you put it here, and you are going to tell me if it is from Edmonton or not. So for example, I give you the example. You are going to finish at home. Like for example, I have a phone number, like phone, okay, phone, and equal to input, and the same, I put a string. Please please input phone number, something like this. Okay, and now you have you need to tell me, you cut from the first, like for example 780, and you need to like for example I print out the phone number first, and I'm going to show you. So you click run, and now I put 780 221 1234. So you have this phone number, right, which is a string. And what I want you to do, you just cut out the first 3 digits, 780. So there are 2 area code in Edmonton, or if you are in BC, in Vancouver, you also have the other area code, or in Calgary you have another area code. So if the area code, like for example here in Edmonton, if my phone, of course you can say phone number, the first 3 digit is equal to 780, or like I have the phone number is from the area code is 587. You can also do, or phone is 023 is 587, and now you don't forget the column, and you print this phone call is from like Edmonton, my city. And you can continue to do like this. Like for example, you can else if. In Python, you can use something called else if phone number from 0 to 3 equal to, like from BC, for example, is 450 is from Vancouver, and you can print this phone call is from Vancouver, something like this. Otherwise, if none of the you don't know the phone number, you can say print else print in valid area, like area, whatever you call. So what I want you to do basically is you have your program to input a phone number, and you get the first three digits, and you should tell me this phone number is from which city, like from Edmonton, Vancouver, or Calgary, or Seattle, or Ottawa. And as long as you know the area code, you can continue with this program. And you of course you can use else if. It's like if, else if, and more else if, and every block can say is from which city. And that's the homework I want you to do for this week. Okay.
Hello?
Hey Alan, please wait for a minute. I am gonna finish very soon, and so I'm gonna have you to share the screen, and then we can start. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So that's it for you guys for this the basic level, and we are going to continue with the junior level. Right. I'm gonna send you this. David, the homework is you're going to develop a phone, a program to check the first three digits, and now you can have more error code, like at least 5 error code, and you see you know which city this phone number is belong to, like from Edmonton, Vancouver, Calgary, Seattle, Winnipeg, or Halifax, Ottawa, and also from Montreal, and whatever error code you know, you can Google it. So that's what I want you to do, right? And all right, for the junior level student, please let me know if you are ready. Please put a message in the chat box. And today we have Alan here, and probably Ali also here. Yeah, I think Alan is going to show us how to solve the problem for the question number 5 in junior level for CCC 2020. So before we start with Alan, I'm going to explain a little bit on the question so you don't be lost. So the first thing is I'm going to just go to the question, CCC questions, and I'm going to share the screen to Alan. Otherwise, you don't know what I'm talking about. But Aaron, I don't think you need to share the screen, right? Because you already know the question, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. Anyway, I'm just sharing. So I just go back to Waterloo and past context. Scroll down all the way there. 2020 and junior level. and I scroll down all the way to J5. And last week we explained the question. Basically, is like they give you a ball or a table, and you can jump in from one cell to the other based on the rule of the value in the cell. So for example, for this one, it is number 3, and you can jump to the 1, 3, which is cell in 1, 3, number 8, and probably 6, something like this, 1, 8, something like this. And again, if you jump to 8, and you should figure out like 8, you can do 2 by 4. So you can do 2 by 4 and row 2 and 4, jump to 12. And again, you can just repeat this, and you all the way from the first block and go to the last block. And last week I told you guys there are 2 ways to solve the problem. The first one is you can go from the first block, first cell, and you can jump forward. And the other way is like you can do from the last block and you jump backward, because you can reverse the loop and go backward. So I'm gonna see what Aaron do with his code, and Ali also sent me his solution. They both are very good, and I also do some optimization in the Python version, and hopefully it will help everybody. So I'm going to let Aaron to show his screen, and now we have Aaron here. I'm gonna start sharing mine. So I'm going to change to all. And now, Aaron, you can show your screen.
Okay. Can they hear me?
Yes, I can. How's the other guys? Yes, they said yes. You can go ahead.
All right, so when you first read the problem, you see that you have this sentence, which is the main idea of the problem. If you are in a cell containing the value x, then you can jump to any cell AB with a times b equals x. And this means that if you go forward, then you would have to factor x into its factors, but this is a very inefficient way of solving the problem. And the better way to solve the problem is if you are in a cell AB, then you can go to this cell from any cell with value x. So it is much better to work backwards, because if you go forwards, you have to write a complicated algorithm to factor x. But if you go backwards, then all you have to do is multiply a and b, and then you have a list of cells that you can jump to. So since we're going backwards, we have to start at mn, and we want to reach 1, 1 from this cell. And the way I'm going to solve this problem is using recursion. So basically, I call a search function on the cell mn, and then what I do for every cell that you can reach, what I do is I multiply the row and the coordinate column, and I look through every single cell which has a value m times n. And for each of those cells, I recursively call the search function onto that cell. And if I reach the value 1, 1, then we can say that the answer is yes. And if we search through all the possible cells we can visit and we cannot find the cell 1, 1, then we can just output no. So I'm just going to start writing the code. So I'll write this in C++. First, I'll include some stuff. So IO stream, that's just for input and output. I'm going to include a vector, which is basically an array, which has a variable size. And I'm going to create a main function over here. And I'm going to just take in the input. So we have m and then n. And then we have a grid with m rows and n columns. So I will create that using a vector. Here's an m by n grid. And then we were given the input in this format. So what I do is I run a for loop for I equals 0 to m, and then I take in every single row, and then I use a nested for loop to take every cell inside of that row. So like this. And you might not understand my code, but right now what I'm just doing is reading the input. So this is not the important part. So now I have inputted the grid. And now what I have to do is, if you're given a cell with coordinates A, B, you want to be able to multiply A and B, and then search for every single cell with a value of X. So I'm going to create another array where you can index a value, and you can get all the cells with a specific value. So for example, So I'm going to create a vector, and I'm going to call it cell with values. And the cells are less than or equal to 1 million. So I'm just going to set the array size to 1,000,001. Basically, we can index this array, so cell with values, and if we index it with value X, we will get the list of all cells with value X. And now I'm going to write the search function. So this search function will return a Boolean. So either we can reach the cell 1, 1 or we cannot. So this is just a true false value. And we'll call search. We will take in the row, we'll take in the column. And we also need the grid. We also need the cell with values array. And this and symbol means that I'm just passing in these variables by reference. So what I'll do is I will say X is equal to row times column. But since the row and the column are both 0 indexed, and in this problem, we start from the number 1. I have to add 1 to both the row and the column. Like this. And so for the base case, if the row is equal to So if it's the top left corner, then the row value is going to be 0, and the column value is equal to 0. Then we return true. And then what I'll do is I will loop through oh wait, hold on. So I'm going to set this cell with values array to a pair because we need a row and a column. So we will look through all of the cells which have value x. And then over here, I'm going to call the search function recursively. So I'm going to call it with the cell first, cell dot second, and pass in the grid and cell with values. So if we find the cell 1, 1 through this cell, then we can return true. And if we search through all the possible values and we do not find the cell 1, 1, we return false over here. And there's still a few more steps to do. So I have to pre-compute this array cell with values. So what I can do is I will index the cell with values with the value given to us by the input, and I will add to the array I and j, like this. And there's one problem with this solution is that it is possible that we can go in a loop through the cells. So if we don't want to loop through the same cells over and over, we have to create an array which determines whether or not a cell has been visited. So we do not revisit any cells twice. So we have to create a visited array, and I will just do that. Instead of an integer, it will contain a Boolean, and if this Boolean is set to true, then the cell has been visited, and we do not want to visit it twice. So I will call this array visited. Oops. And since we want to know whether or not a cell is visited, I have to pass this into our search function. And actually, we don't need the grid, so I will just change this to visited. And we need to change this if statement. So we want to make sure that the cell that we are looking at has not been visited. So we'll say if it's not visited, and then once we call the function on row and column, we will set visited rc equal to true. And then now we will finish this problem with our output. So if we search through the bottom right corner, so we want to start at the cell MN. Then I will output yes. Then otherwise, I'll output no. So now I'm going to test my code. So now I will put in the sample inputs, and it returns yes. So I think this is working. I'm just going to submit this. Okay.
Hey, Aaron, I think you choose Python 3 instead of C++.
Oh, sorry. Oops. Yeah, I think this is correct. Yeah, when I was taking the CCC, I failed this problem. But I think I have it now. Okay, yeah. So this is 15 out of 15 points.
Hey, Aaron, could you just show us how you do the test in this CCC grader? Because most of us didn't use this website, and you just show us how to use it. And next time when we in this term we will have the enrollment, and then we have some student and they can use this website. So usually when you go to the contest, and how could you go to the submission?
Okay, so from the home page you have a list of all the contests, and for this problem it's in the 2020 junior contest, so I click enter here. And if I want to submit a solution, I just click this next to the problem and I get a drop down, and here are the list of all the problems. The one that we're doing is escape room. You choose your language depending on what you're using, and you click the choose file button, which will open the file explorer. And over here I'm just submitting the C++ file I just wrote. And then you click submit, and then after maybe a minute, it will tell you your score.
All right, thank you. Yeah, Aaron, I'm going to just share my screen, and I'm going to show you Ali's solution. He's doing in Python, and which also probably the same, because you guys also work from the Bever. And so I'm going to show Ali's solution. Wait a minute. I'm going to share my screen. And here's my PyCharm. And thank you, Alan.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna show Ali's solution. So Ali also had the J5 here. It's pretty much the same, and he also, like, let me show you. He used a dictionary to store all the value to the column. So that's why he used this called default dictionary. In case there's nothing there, and they still can return a none and go back. So in his program, he just loop through the same. He will loop it through from the input, and they make a ball, and they put it all the value there. And now he will, of course, he will build a cache, and they will do something like what Alan did, is use the recursive programming. but since in Python there's one problem with the recursive because Python only allow 1000 stat of the recursive, so he changed the recursive into the while loop. They use the while loop and they loop it like this, and that's what I'm going to I'm going to show you how to do that. Just convert the recursive function to the while loop. That's what we are going to do today. But at the meantime, I'm going to just use his solution and put it into the to test. But since Python is a little bit slow, maybe if we found the optimization, it will be very slow. And that's why I want Aaron to show you guys how to use C++, and it will much more faster. But of course, you can still using the Python to solve the problem and get fitting point out of fitting. I'm pretty sure that. So let's just go to this this link, because I don't have the CCC grader, and I will go here.
I can submit my solution there too.
Yeah. The best way is from the CCC grader, because here this website might have different data set with the CCC grader. So I'm going to copy his solution.
Usually it's harder to pass in DMOJ because they have stricter time limits sometimes.
Yeah, then I'm going to submit it. So it's pretty good. So yeah, I guess his solution can get most of the point. I'm going to show you. Right. So here we go. It's he can get 13 out of 15. Is awesome, and I guess it can pass by the CCC test. So I did a little bit optimization here, because the trick here is like usually you guys will use a list or use a dictionary. So here's the solution. I just do some optimize. What I did here is like every time when you go to the dictionary, you just poke it out. You know what I mean? Like for example, you go to one value, you poke it out, and then your dictionary is going to be smaller and smaller, because then you don't have to keep the thread like true or false, and you have been there or not, because you pop it out and then it's not going to have it in the dictionary. So, and after this small optimization, you will get pretty good point in the CCC. Okay, so I'm going to show you. So with these small things, you will should be fitting out fitting or something like that. So that will be fitting out fitting. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna show you guys this script, but like yeah, again, thank you Alan, and I'm going to end the meeting with you, because
okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. All right. So yeah. I think you guys already see the three solutions here. We have Ali solution, we have Aaron, use C++, and if you want to learn C++, you can join our advanced lesson, because yeah, I want you guys to learn C++. If you want to be like solve the problem in CCCJ5, it would be easier instead of using Python. And Python is like you have to have some technique, or yeah, if you don't have time to learn the C++, you still can stick with Python, and you just be aware of some technique. So let's talk about one technique here. We use something called dictionary. We used the dictionary before, right? And what the dictionary do is, like, I'm going to show you, create one file. I try dictionary. So for example, I have a dictionary called my dictionary, something like this. Okay. And what you do is just like in my dictionary, you would put things inside. So how are you going to put the things inside? So for example, I have you need a key, like for example a key called apple, and you want the value to be the color is red, so something like this. And you continue to do my dictionary, and the color for orange, like orange, the key is orange, and the color of course is orange. And also, yeah, for some of you guys maybe feel a little bit hard, because when the first question J1 to J4, I guess most of you guys can solve the problem in an hour. But for J5, and you need to be more careful, because they need you to have some technique to solve the problem. Okay, so that's what we are going to do. To solve the J5, I want you to learn this technique. And that's why you might like you said, why are we going to learn dictionary instead? Because dictionary is one of the way to boost the performance in the to solving the problem. Like if you have a dictionary and like this, and I'm gonna print the dictionary, my dictionary, and I'm gonna run it. Try the dictionary. So you see my dictionary have this apple and orange. Okay, you have apple and orange. And if you want to look up, like again, you want to look up the value, like for example here, I want to look up the orange value. So you want to look it up for the orange value, and you will just jump all the way, just go to the orange, this key, and then you can get the value. You know what I mean? So that's the dictionary do. But think about that. If you have a whole bunch of value, like thousands and thousands value, key and value here, and you can use a key and get to the that value, and it will be very fast. So it in other language it might call hash table, like hash table. But in Python we just call it dictionary. So we can use dictionary, this technique, to improve the lookup function. So if we go back to our the question, and obviously for each step we want to look it up, right? I know if you read the problem, you already try to figure it out from the bevel, because for example, you have this one, the last shell, you can go from here is 4, column 4, and row 3. So it's 3 multiplied 4 equal to 12, and that's you go bevel, and it could be this cell or this block, and it could be this one, and that's why you can go bevel, and they already have the solution for you, and from Aaron and Ali. So but I'm going to show you just to do from the forward version, so you can compare each how to do that. But I'm not going to finish off them, and I want to show you how to do it from the forward. So which means the first thing is like you need a table. You need a table. You need to, for example, you have the number 3 here. So you will see what could be number 3. Jump to the next step. So how could I jump to the next step from number 3? And like what I told you before, because number 3, it should be row 1 by column 3 is 1 by 3, so which means is 8. Or you can have 1 column 1 by row 6, so it could be no, sorry, it's column 1 and row 3, and 1 by 3 equal to 3. Okay, so but first, how could I get to this this value? How could I get to this value? The first thing is you should build up a table, and a table is like you have number 3, and what number 3 can go to, right? So like for example, if I have number 12, and what number 12 can jump to? What number 12 can jump to? So that's the problem we are going to solve. So obviously you can do like this. You are going to build up a dictionary, like a dictionary. So first, for example, you have for loop, like I in range m. Let's just say m, or you can, and now print I. So if m equal to, if m right here, the first one is m equal to 3, so I have 3 here, and now you have the n equal to 4. So if I run it, I will get the I is 0, 1, 2. But what I want is 1 to 3. So how am I going to get it? And you will do 1, and here plus 1. And now you will move this one a little bit forward, 1 to 3, right? So what you do is 1 to 3. And the same thing for n, you just do 1, 2, n plus 1. And now you can print j. Now let's see what happened. So I may just remove this part, and I may have this. Let's see. So you would have 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, and 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. So that would be all the combination of the rows and column. Okay, and now we can get a dictionary to hold this value. So what dictionary do is like I have a tables is equal to a dictionary, all right? And in the dictionary, table will be have the key. The tables would have a key. Like this key is the key is I. Okay, is I. Let's say is I multiplied by j. Now equal to, you would think, how about I give a tuple to hold I and j, okay? But since there might be, there should be another variable, like for example, I have you know what I mean? Like you have like this one is row 1 and column 2 is 1 by 2 equal to 2, and this one, this cell is also a 1, column 1, and row 2 is also 1 by 2. So you will have 2 variables here. That's why in our dictionary we have the value should be have links to hold both of them, like both of them, like here, like both of them, like J or I, something like this, okay? J or I. And but if you can you know how to reverse them, and you may just have one of them, but I may just start here and I'm going to show you what happened, because every time you would have so you are going to I'm going to show you this first. So I'm going to print tables. Now you would have something like this, okay? So like for example, a value 1, and you can go 1 1, and value 2, you should have 2 1 and 1 2. You should have 1 2 and 2 1 and 1 2. And you have 4 2 2 and 1 4 and 4 1. But something is missing here. Why? Because every time you just add it here, okay? So you have to join the obviously you have to join the array inside this, okay? So so how to join the two array? How to join two links together? So you just use plus to join them, okay? So if let's just have a key equal to I by j, and now you have a key, and if key in tables, now you are going to join them. You will join them tables key equal to tables key. You join them with this, the same. Otherwise, else you just tables key, you will equal to I j, and now we try one more time and see what happened for the dictionary. So now you would have like for example, here is 1 4 2 2 in 2 3 3 2 and 3 4, something like this. All right, so yeah, I want you to build up this table first and finish this code and let me know you're done. Now we can move forward with the rest of them. If you are done, please put a message into the chat box and make sure you understand what I'm doing here. If you don't, and please let me know. Again, if you run your program, it should be like the output. You should have the tables you should have a dictionary like 1 and 1 2 2 1 1 2 3, something like this. Okay, you should have something like this. Okay, so the yeah, if you doesn't have this one, because you probably you forgot to add the like here the key in the tables, like something like this. Just make sure you understand why I put the bracket here, make it as a list. Like here, you will understand. Like number 3, it could be row 1 and column 3, and also you have another tuple. It means row 3 and number 1. If it is a value 4, it would be 1 4 or 2 2. And number 6, the value number 6, it could be 2 3 3 2. And of course, it is A is 2 4, 9 is 3 3, 12 is 3 4, something like this. Okay. And now, of course, for solving this problem, you need to have the input for them, right? I know you know how to do this. And for me, and I may just copy this one because I want to do it really quick. I don't want to spend the time to code that. So I may just copy this one and make it like but you have to know how to read the input. Okay, just what Ali and Aaron did, but it should be easy for you because just some loop, and you have them to loop over and store them into leaks, so something like that, and like inputs, something like this. Doesn't look good. Let me see. Input. Okay. Yep, something like this. Okay, but you need to write some code like what I did here, and just row them by one line by one line, and append to the like I define a loop here, and you need to define a leaks. So you go one line by one line, you loop through each line, and then you get all the value into the leaks. So what I am going to show you here is you just I just copy and paste, put it here, and now, but in the test you might use this small technique, and you can boost your programming and verify your program before you submit the answer. Otherwise, each time you make some mistake, you have to copy the whole things input and do what we did. Usually you may end up like waste a lot of time. So like we already have the input, so the first one is like this one, right? The number 3. So for example, if number 3, how am I going to look at my table to get the number 3? So what you do is just like you go number 3, and then you find that number 3 you can jump to 1 and 3. If you can't find anything, like tables like 90, if the first cell is 90, and you will end up with some error. Like tables 90, because there's no key in our table is 90. Like this, if there is no key in our table is 90. So what you can do here is you can do evaluation. If you're saying if this key, like for example 90 in tables, because tables is a dictionary. If this key is in tables, and then you can find print tables. Like let me just change this one to be the key again. Key equal to 90. And now you have the key. If the key is in the tables, you can print the key. Okay. Otherwise, else you saying print false, something like that, or print no, or something like this. And now if our key is 90, it will be no. If our key is, like for example, is 12, and you should get 3 and 4, and the column 3, and sorry, is row 3 and column 4, which is the end of this, like the the last cell in this loop, last cell in this loop. And if you put like key, let's try 11, and now you should have 11. You should have no, because if you jump to the 11 and you can't jump anywhere, it would be no. All right. So what you need to do is you just write a program. You continue to jump by checking your tables, checking the tables. If you can continue to jump until you can find go to the last one. All right. And of course, this key is not the computer key. Okay, this key is just like in the dictionary, the key and value, and the key and value. Okay, so I hope this can give you a little bit tips, and you can solve the problem. And I'm going to continue just define a function for this one, and just saying check find next step. Okay, find next step, and put it here. And of course you would have the key from here, and if you find it, and then you will return it. Otherwise you will return none. So for some of you guys are still not that good in Python, you know, in Python there's something called none, which means there's nothing there. It's just if you're doing something like if none is equal to something, and none is just like false, something like this. Okay, so you have a function called find next step, and you can return the next step, and which is a list, and you can go the step in your table. Like for example, I show you the tables. All right. So for example, if you find in number the key 4, and you can jump to these two cells, 1 4 and 2 2, right? So yeah, that's what I want you to finish, and I want you to finish this program in the for solution. And at the meantime, I'm gonna send you the step how to do it in the Bevel, solution, and I will send my version, which Ali used. My version is from here, with a little bit technique to pop the things out, pop the things out, and with Ali, and he is also do the same thing, but he just pop the to do the recursive function. You are going to study these two solutions, and then you can see if you can finish to this code to solve the problem for J5. And we will come back for next week, and I will finish this solution as well. And I'm probably thinking we're going to do a small project in HTML or CSS or even Bootstrap. And I'm not sure if you have any idea you want to learn, and you can tell me. All right. So I am going to see how am I going to send you this code, and I'm going to just share you guys see if I can do it in here or not. I'm going to share you, and at the meantime, of course, I'm going to send to your parent as well. So how am I going to do that? oh, I may use file. So, I may use my and that's the part I just type in. Okay, that's one. I want you to continue to work on this solution for this week. Continue to work on J5 2020 CCC. Okay, so that's the one I want you to continue to work on that. And I'm going to create another file from Ali's. And I also I want you to if you like last week we talked about recursive function, and I also want you to do the recursive, but I'm going to cover that next week. All right, so you still can do that as well. So I will have the recursive one. But since in Python recursive doesn't really work because they only support like 1000 levels, so you know what I mean when you try this solution. And make sure for example, you go to Ali this one, and you can go here to submit your solution and see if it works or not. So what I want you to do, just go to main.py, and you are going to continue to work on this solution and see if you can can solve the problem or not. If not, and doesn't really matter, next week we will come back and continue for this solution. But I want you to also check what Ali did here, and also if you like, you can check this recursive function. And I also have a George function. It's George. And I optimize from Ali's function. And let me see if yes, Abby, I'm going to send it to parents as well. And you can also just copy this URL, this link, and you are going to see exactly the same line what I have here. And if you have time, you just click on this link and you can get my script, and you can try Ali's and my version, and also recursive version. Okay. Yeah, but we will come back for them. But anyway, I want you to read the code. You learn to read the code, because you are going to solve the problem instead of I am going to solve the problem all the time. And for J5 is a little bit hard for most of you guys, and I want you to take a look on the solution, and also finish the one I am working on, and how to go further with from the forward. And you do this practice, and if you have any problem, you can go back to refer to the other solution here and see if you can get some tips to solve your problem. But what I want you to do, you read the problem, the question, and then you try solving the problem. All right, so that's it for today, and thank you so much. If you have any question, please email me to health@dataarea.ca. And I know it's again it's a little bit hard for you, most of you guys, but it really doesn't matter. And you give it a try, because if you want to take the CCC junior level, you have to bid it for at least you can get 7 points out of 15. And again, if we finish this question and we come back for something fun like HTML or CSS or JavaScript, and also we might go back to the 2019 CCC junior level, and we'll start from question 1 J1 to J5, and which is another round. So that's it for today, and see you next week. Thank you so much.